Hi, my name is Yu Xiang, and today I'll be talking about some alternate history regarding the events of the Malayan emergency and what would have happened if the Communist Party of Malaya achieved victory in that emergency. Now, there can be few outcomes to this, in fact, many other possible outcomes, because this is alternate history, something that hasn't happened, but is rather a prediction because of a certain change of events that we have not seen in the actual course of history. So bear in mind that there could be a very few different interpretations of what may happen, but I will be discussing some of them today. The first outcome is that Chin Peng would have gained independence from the British. They will then align with China and have probably the same economic policies as China: confiscation of land from the wealthy and redistribution to the working class and the peasants and the civilians, who were not wealthy, of course. Most probably, they would have bitter relations with the USSR, as with China, and perhaps most probably collapse in the 1990s, where the fall of communism occurred. The second outcome is this: although Chin Peng wins and achieves a victory in the Milan emergency, they have a similar split like North and South Korea, except this time we have North and South Malaya, with the North being controlled by Chin Peng since it started in Perak, and the South, where the British gained their hold. Like North and South Korea, North Malaya would be backed up by its communist belligerents, the USSR and China, and the British, well, pretty much all the allies, like the French, the Americans, etc. And like the Korean War, a Malayan War would happen, where North Malaya will attempt to take South Malaya. There are two ways it could happen. Number one, it could be successful, and the British will immediately lose interest in ever regaining the entire Malaya again. Or number two, the British take over all of Malaya, and Chin Peng's Malayan emergency, or rather his victory in it, is, well, nothing, since he has now lost North Malaya. Another way this could go is this: it would possibly be very isolated, having only relations with communist countries. However, it would either collapse or rather be forced to adopt some free market economic policies like China to survive. And it probably would end up the same as North Korea. A third outcome that could eventually happen would be this: although the communists win the Malayan emergency, they see the need to balance their ideology along with what the people want. Hence, a socialist Malaya is proclaimed instead of a communist one. There, they would most possibly engage in better relations with other left-wing nations, such as the USSR, although that's a union of nations, China, and perhaps other countries in the Eastern Bloc, although they're more of satellite states. And due to their moderate ideology that Malaya now has, perhaps they would actually survive even after the fall of communism and other left-wing ideologies in the 90s. They would survive that. And perhaps if they have relations that are also good with other capitalist nations such as the US, the UK, although the UK would be seen as their enemy by the Malayans, and France, for example, perhaps they will prosper in the end. Although in the early years of the 50s and 60s, 70s, and perhaps to the 80s, their economic situation wouldn't be as good as it is now. Well, that is all. Unfortunately, I am very new to alternate history, and sure, some of these outcomes might not even be accurate. So, if you have any suggestions or any other outcomes, list them in the comments below. I'll have a read, and I'll be very interested to know what you think. Nevertheless, I shall see you all again. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed.